What are some of the key changes at WestChem since 2001?
Think about it, I mean, it kind of be summed up in one word, and it's really complexity. Because when we started, I mean, we had, maybe 3 employees, 1 warehouse, a lot of stuff was drop shipped. And over that time now, we operate a full manufacturing facility. We use hundreds of raw materials to make that. We have 4 warehouses in Canada, 1 warehouse in the US, and I believe a staff of 14 people now. So, I mean, it's been quite an evolution there.
What are you most excited about in the coming years?
That one would be product development. With a lot of things that we do, we use our lab to kind of come up with some interesting experiments and ways to test things. That's the thing that I'm most excited about, and that's kind of, evolving on some products that we already have core chemistry for and stuff that's in completely new industries. And many people here at the company would know that, I love being in the lab, and if I could be in the lab on a daily basis doing experiments and testing things, I would. So
how has your role evolved over the past 25 years?
Really kind of had my career at WestChem from the ground up. So kind of, as I explained earlier, I started at a very young age. So that was working in the lab, basically doing salt spray projects and maintaining the salt spray cabinet. And at the time we had a used salt spray cabinet that was basically required daily maintenance, weekends, everything. We had to fill the water. It was a real nightmare, but so really, yeah, lab projects and salt spray maintenance. Then I started by doing some kind of customer service, basically on-site audits. Again, didn't know much of what I was doing, but I knew how to do a titration and test a bath. So I would go to customers and, log all the numbers, come back to the office, do up a report and send it to the customer. And I would try avoid almost seeing anyone in the plant at any time because I didn't know anything and was afraid to, they'd ask me questions that I didn't know the answers to. So then it evolved from there, started to do kind of more as I got more experience, got into the sales side of things, and did that for many years. And then as I've kind of been on full-time after graduation, it kind of evolved into more overseeing operations of the company, and now with president, kind of the higher level role and kind of strategic direction of the company. So there's been quite an evolution.
What has been the most challenging obstacle the company has faced over the years?
Well, there's been quite a few over the years. I guess if you look back at kind of all the different economic challenges would really be at the core of all of those. So when I kind of think, back in 2008 was kind of the US housing market crash. And I remember at the time, a lot of our customers in the architectural industry and kind of construction world, a lot of them, their sales were down, 50 to 60%. So that was definitely a challenging time to kind of help and support those customers to get through that tough time. And then there was the 2014 to 2016 kind of oil crash where, oil prices went down so low that a lot of machine shops and service companies in that sector were also, extremely slow. I remember going into lots of machine shops where the lights were off and there was no work at all. So those were, challenging times that we persevered through. We have, I guess, the COVID pandemic, which is definitely one. We also kind of did a pivot like many companies and started selling hand sanitizer, which was really got us through and helped us survive kind of that global pandemic. And then even today, I think in our current, geopolitical, trade tensions, tariffs, trade wars, a lot of stuff going on in the global economy for commodity prices and stuff like that. So even right now is a challenging time. But yeah, we've seen many, and we've had to make changes and pivot and persevere and do a lot of things to get through those challenging times. But those are kind of the key ones.
How has the WestChem product line changed in the past quarter century?
Product evolution, kind of 3 core things come to mind with that, that we're always kind of striving towards. So one thing is environmental compliance. So that's been a major trend over the many years. So when we're sourcing raw materials and things like that, looking for things that are biodegradable, things that are safe, things that are phosphate free, and kind of in that compliance side. So that's one big evolution. Another one is really just back to, I guess I call it like operational forgiveness. All of our customers, they operate in different manufacturing settings, so they need products that are extremely robust and are capable of working across many different applications and scenarios. So that's kind of always a core in the development and how we tailor products. And the third one would really be associated to kind of cost and operational advantages. So again, we're always looking at products that can either reduce temperatures or reduce time, create operational efficiencies that help their businesses in the long run.
What are you most proud of as someone who has been here from the start?
So when I was thinking about this one, I mean, it kind of goes into two sides of it. I guess there's a personal side and then there's a company side. So on the personal side, for me, it would be kind of between the range of like the 2020 to 2022 area. So at that time, for me personally, it was basically, we were on the tail end of a global pandemic. I had my third child, just had turned 1. I started my MBA, and we just got one of our largest customers we've had in company history. So it was a lot in a short period of time. And so, yeah, from a personal perspective, I think it's just that being able to get through that was something that I think gave me a lot of confidence, that like allowed me to believe that, you know, no matter what happens and there's a lot of pressure and there's a lot of things going on, that, you know, I can get through it personally. So that was a big one for me. And then I think on the company side of things, it's really, you know, kind of the growth and change that we've seen are things that I'm most proud of. You know, again, I kind of reflected on where we were and where we are now, and starting, you know, it's such a simple operation with very few people and very simple, and now to where we are with manufacturing, the complexity, and I mean, it's just cool to see all of that kind of unfold. So I'm lucky enough to be around to see that.
Do you have any memories that sum up WestChem's culture?
Moment for culture was actually not until probably about 2022. So we actually hired a business consultant that we wanted to work on some certain things internally, and culture was one of the core ones. So it was actually at that time that we developed kind of our core culture statements, where we brainstormed all the things that kind of make us who we are and what we actually want. So we have those actually posted as we're in the boardroom here. There's some behind me in several locations. So I mean, a lot of that at the core comes down to like, I mean, our kind of mutual respect, being kind, supporting each other, and then really along the lines of like critical thinking and solving problems, because that's really what we're all about. So that's kind of the core of that. And then the memory kind of that really makes me, or just kind of highlights up kind of where like where we made it was actually our first ever Chemie Awards, we call it. So we actually, Heather integrated a program to basically vote and celebrate kind of everyone's strengths and skills throughout the year, and everyone got an award. And you know, we were all kind of in our boardroom, and that was kind of a moment for me where it was like, yeah, we have a good group and a good culture here, so that was pretty exciting.
What are you working on right now?
As many know, like metal finishing is kind of one of our core market segments and competencies that we've been a part of for many years. One of the recent kind of innovations or things that we've been hearing in the industry is about mechanical blasting, so another method of prepping metal other than chemical. That blasting has gotten more expensive, it's slow, it's loud, it's dusty, it's challenging to do in the wintertime because a lot of times it needs to be in an outdoor environment. So one of the goals in that metal finishing industry that I would really like to conquer, I guess, is to create a blast replacement from a chemical perspective. And so we've started the work on all of this, and it would kind of involve a full turnkey system where we actually supply the chemistry, the equipment, the process, where we can actually eliminate a blast and do everything chemically with equivalent or better performance. So that's kind of an exciting one for us. And then again, I kind of allude to the R&D and product development side of things. So I think in our next chapters, one of the things that's always exciting for us is that we're always trying to solve customer pain points and customer problems. So we often take on projects where someone has a problem that they need to solve and they actually come to us. So a recent example was a company that was buying a product from the US many years ago and went to buy it again and it was discontinued, somehow found us, reached out to us and said, hey, this is the product that worked really well. It doesn't exist anymore. Do you have anything similar? And our kind of response was, no, we don't, but we could develop it. So I feel like that's kind of the next chapter of it in our evolution is kind of being able to solve those pain points and, you know, develop things that solve problems for the industry. And I think that's pretty cool and pretty exciting.
Where do you see the company in 10 years?
So one for sure is geographical expansion. So we've kind of been in the core of our Western Canadian market since the beginning. We have, you know, ventured in small ways into different geographic areas, but expanding to the east coast of Canada would be kind of our next move, and even into select US places. So geographical for sure. And then again, I think product development is so huge for us. So we're at a point where we're, you know, expanding into new markets, new industries, new products. So I see all that as very exciting times for us.